The shape of the wire stop makes it ideal for putting tension onto a knot and then being able to keep the tension that you put in. So the other day, my daughter had this top drawer open and she pulled on it and the entire dresser fell over. Now I don't want that to happen again. In fact, it can be very dangerous, so this is how I'm going to anchor it to the wall. Okay, I have a neodymium magnet, and what I'm going to do is just run it across the wall to find a stud. Right? The drywall is attached to the wooden studs, and a screw is used to attach that. So now I know that there's a solid piece of wood right here for me to anchor in. You only have 1.5 inch margin of error to get your screw anchored. So what I'm going to do is just make a little mark on the top, push the dresser all the way up against the wall, and then trace it down and right there. Okay, just a tiny little mark, and then I'm going to clean that off when I'm done. Now as I take drawers out of this dresser, you'll find that there is a support piece that strengthens the back side of it. Here it is right there. So this is just thin plyboard, and then this here, that is MDF. It's looks like 1/2 inch thick, but that's what we're going to use to anchor into the wall. Now from the top of the dresser to this board, it's about 20 inches. So I'm just going to flip this around. I'm going to line it up with that mark and then drill a hole right through this board. Now I'm just going to take my magnet and I'm going to move it down so that I am sure I'm lined up. So I'm using a 2-inch screw. You want to take in mind that the drywall is going to take up 3/4 inch of the screw, and then you have the cord that's going to be tied to the head of the screw. So just make sure that you leave enough space to have a good anchor. Now before I screw into the wall, I'm going to put a little bit of soap to keep it from binding up against the wood, and that helps it from stripping out. What are the chances? Now it looks like I hit a steel plate. The screw does not want to go through. Now what's going on is there's a set of wiring that's going through this particular portion of the 2x4, and they put a steel plate to protect you from accidentally drilling in. So I'm just going to move this a little bit higher and try again. Alright, let's try a little bit lower.
Oh, but that's chocolate.
There we go. I'm just going to take my section of cord. I folded it in half, and I'm going to make a little lark's foot and put it right on to the head of the screw, making sure I cinch it down nice and tight. This is a wire rope stopper. I'm going to take advantage of this floating portion and the way it's designed to help with the tie down. So it's just this piece that I'm using. Now I'm going to feed both cords through that hole that I drilled out. So now I'm going to take my 2 cords and I'm going to slip it through the back side of my wire stopper. Looks like that. And I'm going to tie a simple overhand knot. Now the way this thing is designed, as I put tension onto the knot, it'll tighten up, but it won't loosen. And so it's not going to allow it to come back out. So I'm going to push it up to the wall, tighten it. There we go. Now I just need to make sure that the drawer will still fit. Yep, it sure does. Let me show you. Now, just to be safe, I'm going to put a couple extra knots in here. In fact, I'll just do an overhand knot again. Make sure I got that right. Nope. We don't want to tie a granny knot. We want it to be a square knot. Right over left, left over right. There we go. That's not going to go anywhere. Now, this thing is not going to tip over. Even if you have all of the drawers open, you would never want to do this. This is super dangerous, but you can see that It's not going to come away from the wall.